Hi everyone, I'm Kat, and like most women in their mid-20s, I have somehow found myself at the bottom of a very deep My Little Pony rabbit hole once again. This time last year, my brain just clicked one day and said, you have to consume so much My Little Pony content or you'll explode. So that's what I've done. This came as a surprise to absolutely no one. I used to be a huge My Little Pony fan when I was younger. I am a huge collector of Build-A-Bears and Sanrio and anything cute, colourful, childish. So when I got back into My Little Pony, it was only a matter of time, which of course then resulted in a very My Little Pony heavy birthday party. I've only ever really been interested in G3. I watched the Friendship is Magic series when it was coming out. I think it came out when I was like 15, 16. Really enjoyed that. I have obviously been rewatching it again. G3 has always been where it's at for me. That was what was coming out when I was growing up. Sorry about that. I created a very extensive G3 wish list, which was very Minty heavy. I love Minty so much. She's just my girl, And me and my dad all the time used to quote the little Pinkie Pie clip of her going, Minty, Minty, Minty. That lives rent free in our heads like 95% of the time. I promise you, if I text him that right now, he would reply. I love her so, so much. I also mentioned how much I love Build-A-Bears. The Minty My Little Pony Build-A-Bear. One of my most prized possessions. I love her so, so much. She's obviously based on G4. For those of you who don't know though, Minty was originally a G1 pony. She has been around since the dawn of time, the dawn of ponies. She is often drawn in a G3 style. This as well can be seen on this mug I got from my mum. Super duper cute. I'm sure I'll try and pop a close up somewhere. There she is. But there are a lot of other ponies on this mug, and little did I know that one of them would actually end up changing the trajectory of the next 6 months of my life. My coworker for my birthday also very kindly gifted me a bundle of goodies. She gifted me these. I'm not going to pretend I haven't worn them all day every day. They are they've seen better days. I was trying to work out who she was for so long. Love her design. I love the colors. I was Googling G3 rainbow pony, G3 this. There are no G3 ponies that look like this. Until one day something just clicked and I realized, who else is on this mug? Who is on most Primark t-shirt collabs? Every Loungefly bag. Who the fuck is this pony and why is she everywhere? I have spent weeks and weeks and weeks trying to curate a cohesive storyline. So without further ado, let's get into the evolution of Starshine from G1 to now. Starshine was first debuted in 1983 alongside 5 other rainbow ponies. This collection consisted of 2 Earth ponies, 2 Pegasus, and 2 unicorns. The lineup included Sunlight and Parasol, Windy and Moonstone, and Sky Dancer and our girl Starshine. All of these ponies featured the same quad-coloured mane and tail, as well as a glitter cutie mark, although it wasn't called that at the time, that was kind of a G3 thing. It also depended on the variant for if it was glittery, metallic, or matte. Each country kind of had their own rules, which we'll find out very shortly. Each pony came with their own set of accessories: a shooting star brush, a ribbon, Starshine's was blue, a comb, and a round puffy sticker. Starshine was originally released in the Firefly pose, a name that originated from the pony Firefly itself, and was kind of a standard across all Pegasus ponies in G1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of from what I've seen, this was kind of the go-to pose for Pegasi. Sky Dancer was also in the same Firefly pose. Each of the ponies all came with a unique backstory on the back of their cards as well, which also kind of variated from place to place. The USA back card reads as follows. On a cool, rainy morning, Starshine was ready for excitement. I want to have some fun today, she shouted to the giant dark rain clouds. Stomping her hoof impatiently on the ground, she pleaded, "Send me a secret rainbow journey." The clouds opened, and a multicolored beam of light swooped down to lift her up into the sky. Traveling in the beautiful light, Starshine's rainbow-colored hair stretched out behind her like a tail of a shooting star. The light carried her on a special adventure to a land of enchantment and magic. "Hi-ho, my brightly coloured beauty," shouted the Milky Way. Starshine winked at a comet and laughed with the man in the moon. By the evening, she was home again. "This has been a very exciting day indeed," she thought as she gazed up at the sky. Twinkling down, the stars whispered, "Come back again, Starshine." In 1984, Hasbro released Softies. These were plush versions of the ponies, one of which is behind me. We can have a closer look at that in a minute. Starshine was released in two variants, one with her mouth open and one with them closed. Not all of the rainbow ponies, or G1 ponies in general for that matter, received a Softie. In fact, from the Rainbow Pony collection, only Parasol and Windy, to my best efforts, received an open mouth plush. I was so lucky to find this one on Vintage. She was only £5. She is so well looked after. She's a bit discoloured, but her hair has been brushed or lovely as best as you can for a pony from the 80s. And again, tail features the same quad colours. She was released in a further 21 variants across the world, and although a lot of them looked quite uniform, despite, again, the metallic or matte cutie mark, slight variations in hair colour, including this tropical variant, which is so fun. There were a few that are worth mentioning. Venezuela kind of went a bit crazy. She was released in a red and yellow variant for some reason, and also this green squeaky toy where she's bold and squeaks. I'd like to do a full tier list ranking of all of the variants, so if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know. And if it's not something you're interested in, I'm going to do it anyway, because it's so fun that just one character design can be taken so wildly all over the place, depending on where you are in the country. She was also later released as a scented single, and despite my best efforts, I cannot find anything about the release year or the original scent, but the re-release 35 years later was vanilla, so I'm just going to assume it was that. Despite being released as a softie, a scented single, being released all over the world, actual merch for Starshine was very limited, which is kind of the driving force behind this whole video. How has a pony that has absolutely exploded in pop culture today had only like 5 things going on for her in her prime? When I was looking for Starshine merch, it was proving to be really difficult. A lot of things didn't have release dates or were only available in certain countries. She is not one of the ponies that received a lot of love at the time of her release. She was not featured in any of the TV show, comics, although she is the face of the soundtrack for some reason. Don't ask. What I could find specifically of Starshine included a rubber stamp. The exact release date for this, again, was kind of up in the air. A lilac lunchbox exclusive to Peru. A pinwheel. These walkie-talkies, which, although on her wiki I have no information about them, I was so lucky to find them on Vinted. I searched high and low for any information about these walkie-talkies. A lot of the pictures did not have the release date or any information. I managed to find them on Vinted for like £30. I'm gonna pop that clip here. So from the past, I was kind of hoping that I would be filming this in my new house with the rest of this video, but this came today and I was too excited to wait to open it, so unfortunately you just have to deal with this. It will be worth it because in here I have the 1985 Starshine walkie-talkies. I was looking for them everywhere, as I'm sure I probably was talking about, but I found them on Vinted. They were £30. She said they're still in working order, so we will unbox them and see if they are. These up on the way to work, and then I was just sat thinking about them all day. So the thought of like waiting to move to open these like actually made me feel sick. Wow. I don't know why I'm nervous. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. I wish I had like dual camera action right now, but you just have to like imagine. Oh my god. Guys. Guys. Oh my god. And she has. Oh my god, they are just so. They're perfect. They're perfect. I'll do some close ups and stuff now so you can see. I also found a sewing pattern, and I am a very novice sewer. That's how novice I am. But I thought again it would be really fun in a future video to purchase this, and you can make fun little felt plushies. So I thought we could do that together. She can be found in the collector's manuals, some board games, some random things she's dotted in the background of. She doesn't have any specific merch in the way that other G1 ponies do, like Applejack, who has survived all generations. She can be seen in every generation except G2. I am going to be honest, I don't know much about G2. I'm not going to sit here and talk much about that. That's very separate from what I know. I was trying to see if any of the ponies carried into G2. I don't believe so. Starshine absolutely did not. There was not really any pony like her. In G2, there was Lightheart, who was kind of similar to a point, but again, not enough to say that she was directly inspired by Starshine. She was not carried into G3 like a lot of ponies. Again, even ponies like Minty got a complete revamp and redesign, while other ponies like Starshine were left behind. I still do not quite understand why. There were a second generation of rainbow ponies, which included Rainbow Dash, Sunny Days, other ones. They're here. This rainbow pony collection, there was also a third one as well, which I don't remember the lineup at all off the top of my head. I'll pop it here. Unlike the original, very uniform G1 rainbow ponies that all had the exact same colour mane, exact same colour tail, these rainbow ponies were just colourful ponies. They didn't have the same colour mane, they didn't really have anything in common from what I can find. Why Starshine was not brought over to G3, I think, is lost on me, especially now she has so much merch, which we'll discuss in a minute. We have Coconut Cream and Jade Garden, who again were close enough colour scheme wise, but not enough to say these are direct descendants of Starshine. G4 kind of eradicated the majority of G1 ponies. Minty came over, she's a fan favourite, and Applejack did come over. There is Princess Celestia, who I suppose you could say is her closest, being a Pegasus, the star cutie mark, the rainbow mane, although it's not quite the same colour, but Starshine was nowhere to be seen. There's no concrete date for when she started recirculating again. All I know is that she did, and then she never stopped. Starts being seen on Primark collabs. Grey t-shirts for some reason, but collabs nonetheless. She is spotted at Paris Fashion Week. She is released as part of a collection with Loungefly where they revamped the G1 ponies, and she was actually the first pony to be featured in this lineup. She got her own exclusive backpack in 2021 alongside a matching purse. Some of the re-released merch is an amalgamation of the rainbow ponies where it's a Pegasus who does not have the right cutie mark. Or sometimes not one at all, it's just Starshine, but she doesn't have a little sun on her butt. I don't know. Some other random honourable merch mentions that I have to bring up before we move on to the next section include this Snow Babies collab in 2015. Don't know, it was $40. She was sold in, I believe, 2017 as a pack of 3 with Parasol and Moonstone. Again, why those 3 when Moonstone didn't even get a softie back in the day? Parasol, I guess I can understand if it was again the 3 of them with Windy. Why Moonstone? Unsure. And my friend the other day surprised me with this poster that she found in a charity shop, which again has Starshine and Moonstone. I don't know if Moonstone is also coming back, maybe that's a different video. Also downloadable in a My Little Pony mobile video game. Cannot really work out what this game is or was, because I know there's a My Little Pony mobile game now. I don't know if it's the same one, it's Game Loft. The only thing I've heard about it is through my research for Starshine, so again, please don't tell me off. I'm doing my best here. You could unlock her in 2023 doing various tasks throughout the Generation Dance Party. Don't know what any of those words mean, but they were worth mentioning. I have sent some emails to people at Hasbro and Loungefly, and they did not respond. They didn't respond. Of course they didn't. I knew coming into this that I was not going to get a response. I did it anyway. I asked why G1, why Starshine specifically, what is going on? Nothing. Nothing. All of my weeks of research and info dumping on anyone who will listen, I have nothing else to share with you. What I really wanted in this video was to be able to give you answers, and I have tried to get answers for yourself and for my own sake, very selfishly. And yet, here I am, and here you are. Here we are together. So, what now? This is a question I have been asking myself as I have been struggling to finish this video and come up with a conclusion, because in all reality, there isn't one. Despite my best efforts, hours and hours of researching, emailing Loungefly, Hasbro, messaging people on Instagram, I'm still in the same place I always have been, asking myself the question, how has this pony from the 80s found herself into modern pop culture today? Even just the other day, she was the face of the new Polly Pocket collab with My Little Pony, featuring G1 ponies. Why? The reality is, there are so many micro decisions being made by people at Hasbro and Mattel and people in huge corporations that will never know my name, and I will never know theirs. I will never know why Loungefly one day in 2021 decided to re-release her. Just her. Or why Primark and Shein have decided that she is the it pony. But what I do know is unboxing those walkie-talkies probably made me feel the same as a little girl receiving them for the first time. I found a new love for toy collection and vintage toy preservation. The whole reason that I didn't end up buying Starshine for myself in this video was because all of them were so well loved. To know that 50 years after her release, I am still just as excited about this teddy as someone from 1984 is just, that's enough. This is not how I wanted to end the video. As I said, I was putting it off for ages because I just wanted it to be perfect, and I wanted to come to you with a reason for all of my questions that I asked. Now I've passed on to you. I'm so sorry. But I'm not mad about it. Sometimes there doesn't have to be a point to anything other than joy. I have spent weeks and weeks looking at this pony, her origin story, getting excited when I see her featured in a video game or a domino card game that I didn't know existed. I love Starshine. And I just know that my birthday wish list is going to be just as predictable as last year, if not more. Thank you for coming along with me. Thank you for listening to me spout all of this about love and girlhood and friendship and Starshine. Oh my god, this is what it has been like living in my brain for the past few months. So I'm so glad I can finally bestow my knowledge onto you. Are there any other vintage ponies you'd like to know the origin story of? Someone who kind of was a dark horse and is now in the spotlight, or vice versa? Let me know. Did you have any favourite G1 ponies growing up, or were you a G3 girl like me? I hope to see you again soon for lots more pony content coming your way. And with that, I will leave you to your Sunday evening. Bye!